I'll tell you what, it's Whiskers GPT. I'd sign up for that.
The Creative Collective is a networking group for creative businesses. And this is their podcast.
Easy. Episode 30. We're here.
That was good, wasn't it?
We made the big 3-0. And
Really?
people said we wouldn't make it here.
Did they?
No one.
I think they just said stop making
No.
it.
But we didn't listen.
No.
Because we are resilient, as we talked about on episode 29.
Let's call back.
Link in the chat. Okay, so
You're so cool.
so hit episode 30.
Yeah.
Working versus learning. You came up with that.
I was just going to say, where'd you come up with that?
Yeah.
You didn't, because I did.
You did. So this is kind of your subject that's been playing on your mind. We've been voice noting about this, discussing it.
Yep.
Where do you want to start with it?
Well, it was brought to mind again the other day on a TCC workshop that Liz Drury was hosting. And she was talking about things that she'd learned in business. And one of them was to get training. But then later on, another point was learn when to stop training, sort of thing.
Learn when to stop learning to a certain, just for a period of time. Maybe.
Yeah. And it got me thinking about something that I was told on like a coaching thing earlier on in the year. That was, whilst you're out there doing another 6-week course to pick up a new skill, or whilst you're spending another month doing a new demo and getting that ready to go out, all that time, all your competitors are out there trying to get work, unless they're also doing courses.
Yeah.
So I've kind of tried to take that on board a bit in the past 6 months and really just focus more on talking to people and getting out there more, because I've got stuff that I can show people already. I am still creating stuff in the background, like new demo clips and things, but very slowly and under absolutely no pressure. I've cut back on voiceover training, but not voiceover practice. But I will pick up the training again. But I'm just at the moment focused on talking to as many people as possible. So I've kind of pretty much stopped all learning that has been specifically chosen by me to apply myself to, if that makes sense. So
Like structured learning.
yes, so I'm still picking up tips and things and doing stuff that I have to do.
Okay.
But yeah.
So what I hear, Whiskers, is
Lazy.
is you're getting worse.
Is excuses.
Yeah. All I hear is meh, meh, meh. No, what? So I think you're in a position where your level is easily good enough to get the work that you want, whereas maybe 2 years ago, or a year ago, 2 years ago, where you were looking to improve, or maybe then structured training is more of a priority. But now you're at that level, and of course there's always room to improve, but that's just shifted around. So now you're about getting the clients in, knowing that you've got that foundation of good practice below you.
That's a good point. Next episode.
Done. But why this is quite interesting, because we've had chats on, voice notes and when we see each other, plus on these podcasts, about you always trying to improve your practice. But it's funny now, the last 6 months it's kind of switched. But you did say, which I think's really interesting, that's still going on. You're still looking to improve, but it's not. Maybe it's taking 10% of your time rather than 50% of your time.
Yeah, and also it will happen in the jobs as well. So, for example, yesterday someone sent me, it was a radio ad, and the first bit they wanted done in kind of a sympathetic sort of tone, and then it picks up the pace for the solution. And it just gave me an opportunity to sort of test, because if I rewind a bit, the ads they normally send me are always the same sort of style. It's for a DIY brand. And this was a bit of a shift. So it gave me room to move out of that comfort zone with that client and try new things and just push myself. And then because I had the time to do it,
and they hated it.
yeah, they're never working with me again. And because I had the time to do it, I could listen to it and think, well, why don't I try that there? And it's like kind of like self-directing, self-teaching, self-learning, from perhaps things I haven't tried before. So I do think you can learn just by trying.
Well, you learn through experience, don't you? As long as you're open to it, I think that is unofficial learning happens all the time, every single job. If there's mistakes made, mostly if there's mistakes made. If everything has gone well, there probably isn't that, unless you're really aware of trying to push yourself. I've got a thing where I've sort of brought this back over the last 4 months where my work has been slightly more staggered, so I've had a bit more time per project. And I always say to people at the start, try and do something new on every single video that you produce, because then it's good CPD. It's really good professional development. And it's not structured, but you're just taking yourself slightly, like you were just saying, slightly out of your comfort zone every single time. And it may not work. And the client may hate it when you put this weird transition in for no reason. But there's always something to learn. But then, it does come down to, depending on your work schedule and how much time and creative bandwidth you have. Because sometimes it's just about getting it out the door and waiting for feedback.
How can you tell when you need a bit more upskilling?
Well, I suppose it would depend on the client you're going for. Two things, maybe: self-awareness, and working out if you want to take your business in a certain direction, being really honest about why you're not there now and what you need to do. Maybe that's and if you can answer honestly, well, my quality of work is there, so there's no reason that I'm not working with that client or not taking that business in a certain direction. Well, then, just go for it. But there probably is a reason why you're not getting those clients. And then it's a case of working out, well, is it equipment? Is it your actual skills? Is it software that you're not using? Are you leaving money on the table elsewhere in the business? Like, so many things.
That's something we spoke about on a previous episode, wasn't it? If you're doing the same thing and you're not getting the work, then that's when you should realize that it's time to change what you're doing or upskill, level up.
One thing that I struggle with is with training, like kind of structured training, is that, just say, for instance, I wanted to take the business in a different direction, and I realistically needed a few months of really working on this. Well, my fear would be, I wouldn't be bringing any money in, because there's always a lag time. So you would either have to do it in your spare time, or you would have to kind of take that on the chin. And me, I know myself, I'm so impatient. I'm quite bad. If I had a bad couple of months, that would put me back anyway. So it's sort of staying in your comfort zone to a certain extent. Whereas maybe the people that are quite fine at taking risks, they're probably the people that would work for those clients quicker, because they'd say, right, I'm going to do this for 2 or 3 months, and that's going to put me in a position. So long term, you're going to be worse, but short term, you're going to be worse, but long term, you're going to be better off.
I had a chat with someone the other day about they wanted to get into voiceover, and they said, and they were still in full-time employment, and they said to me, if you were, because when I started, I'd been made redundant, so I wasn't doing anything. Well, trying to get jobs, but they said to me, if you was in full-time employment, do you think you would come home every day, practice voiceover at the weekends before you go to work? And I said, absolutely not. By the time I'd done my work for the day, that was it. Work was over. I wasn't in that start a business mindset, or business growth or whatever. So how do you think I don't know where I'm going with this question. I think
Well, I've got a response to it.
good. Shut me up.
I'll carry it. Don't worry about it. I'll get you out of this situation. I had a similar conversation with a photographer, and I was talking about. They were asking about how I got started, and yeah, I mean, you know the story that I did part time and did photography on the side, evenings, weekends. So exactly what you were talking about. And they said, well, you know, I'm quite tired when I get back from work, and I'm not sure I'm not sure I could sort of do that. And I said, please don't take this the wrong way. But if you're healthy, and there's no reason, like physical reason, why you can't do photography like all evenings, weekends around your job, maybe you don't want it enough, because you need that. Like the first 2 or 3 years of running a business is your life. It's like it's 24/7, is it? But it has to be that way, because otherwise it would take 10, 20 years, or it just wouldn't happen at all. So unless you have that attitude of like prioritizing that over everything in your life for 2 or 3 years, you're giving yourself, you're not giving yourself the best chance to do that. And I felt really horrible saying that, because I don't really like that kind of binary. Well, maybe it's not for you. But I was simply saying that if it doesn't light a fire in your belly that you want to do it at 7 a.m. till 8 a.m. and then go out to work and then do from 8 till 9 p.m., maybe it's not right.
And what happened next? Did she throw her camera away in anger?
Yeah, she logged out the call. And I've never heard from her since.
That is brutal.
No, we had a good chat.
But thinking back whilst you were talking, well, I was listening, but not much. And I was thinking at the
Standard.
Yeah, just shut off.
Glazed look.
When I was employed, I would get in from work, and it would just be music. So I was focused on something, just not. Well, I guess at that point maybe I did think music was going to be a career, but so maybe I would have had the drive to do something,
because music was your passion and that was your way out, wasn't it? And 100%, if I well, not 100%, but I'm sure if I said to you, if you work from 5 a.m. till 7 a.m. and then 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. on music for 2 or 3 years, I can guarantee here's a contract that you'll be signed. You would do that, wouldn't you? So but if you didn't want to do that, well, then questions would be asked about, well, maybe actually you like the thought of it, but you don't like the actions that make that come true. That's what I'd say.
So learning versus so what's 7 minutes left?
Loads of time. Don't worry about
learning versus working. When does learning take priority?
Well, I think there's seasons in your business. I would say, and this is something that came to me when you were doing your opening spiel.
So you wasn't listening to me either.
I'm always listening to you, but I'm always thinking, how can I take the boring stuff that Whiskers says?
How can I make this better?
Yeah. How do I make this inane dribble? No, it's drivel. It's
either or.
It's a name drivel, somewhat palatable for anybody. So yeah, seasons.
That was extensively harsh.
Good cop, bad cop, isn't it?
Keep going.
We're padding. No, seasons in your business. So, like I said at the start, you're now in a situation where your work and your practice is very good, so you can just focus on the marketing. Whereas, I mean, maybe if we go back to the start, maybe that's quite a good conversation. If we go back to the start of our business, or if anybody is watching this at the very start, what potentially should they be focusing on? Should they be focusing on
the
essentials, or should they be focusing on the marketing? The essentials, go on then. Because I would say, I think the first 2 years you shouldn't be worried about making money. I don't think there's many absolutes in business, but I think unless you're living at home and you're young, I don't think, you don't have to like too many commitments. I think the first 2 or 3 years of your business should just be getting better and
The
craft, yeah.
Mm.
And which takes you through to your next season of the business, about getting work that you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And then it's maybe a balance between the two.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Because like thinking about the essentials that you should know, obviously it should be the craft to start with, but then everything else to me is an extra, and you don't need to know it until it happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
You won't need to know how to do invoices until you've got a client. You don't need to know that until you've worked out how to get clients.
Yes.
And
yeah,
when you sort of think, well, I'm ready now, or someone says, yeah, you should start getting jobs, or do you want to help me out? Then you're like, well, okay, I could learn how to do that part of it, or this part of it. So I think it all comes sort of like that. I like that.
It's true.
With growth, you need to know more.
Well, you go into business thinking, well, if I'm good at this, I can make money, and then you soon realise, oh, this is probably about 25% of running a decent business. It's my actual work. Vital, that is a vital 25%. The other stuff is, as you say, you're learning all the time, but it's not the craft. But with experience and with work, you get better at the craft anyway.
Are there other essentials? Am I just being a bit?
In what way? What do you mean?
If you think, right, tomorrow I'm going to start a business. I don't know. Let's call back to your cricket fetish.
Apparently, yeah.
Let's talk. You want to start making cricket stumps,
okay,
for a living?
Amazing. Yeah.
Let's keep going with this. Let's keep going.
Stumps or bats?
Stumps, cricket stumps.
Okay.
Where that's much more of a niche, I think.
Yeah, very niche.
What would you do first? You would have to learn how to make the stumps.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because without you being able to make good cricket stumps, you wouldn't be able to sell good cricket stumps.
Yes, exactly.
So that is, you're right. And that's the basis for everything.
Would you need to work out also if there was a market for someone else to be making good cricket stumps?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, but that's not learning something. That's just research.
I still think that would be after. Okay, because I still think that whatever happens, maybe they come together. When you could, it would be the craft and then the research to see when your craft is good enough, how you market. But nothing comes before the craft, does it? That's the thing. You can't reverse engineer everything.
Yeah, I'm desperately trying to think of a cricket pun with your surname because it bowls.
Well,
LBW, leg bowls wicket. No, it doesn't work.
There was a very famous cricket commentary quote, and it was, now let's see. Yes, so the batsman's name was Peter Willey.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah, and the bowler was what was his first name? Anyway, something Holding, Michael Holding.
Yeah.
And the commentator said, the bowler's holding the batsman's willy.
Yeah. And what should he have been learning?
So there we go. That always sticks with me.
Nice.
But it's I think craft, and then you get into the sort of second season of your business, when you're talking about marketing, as that's actually where you do most of your learning. You think, I thought, because I know quite a few people that their craft and their videos, photos are so much better than, say, mine or lots of people, but just from speaking to them, they're struggling with business.
Yeah.
Because it's a different skill set. You can have the best, so that mindset change does need to happen reasonably quickly once you've got, I would say, your work to a certain level, because you can maybe turn that craft stage into 5, 10, 15 years, because you don't want to take yourself out of your comfort zone.